Good morning all of you, and today's we will discuss about to the Cloud Federation, which is basically belongs to the Unit 5 of the final year syllabus of the KCS 713. Okay, let's start with this topic. So the topic name is Cloud Federation. So what is the means of federation? So federation means a federated cloud, also called the Cloud Federation, is the deployment and management of multiple external and internal cloud computing services to match business need. So a federation is the union of several smaller parts that perform a common action. Just like this is basically we are working about we are working with together from the smaller parts. Just like divide and conquer method, we have to divide the problem into the short solution, and then after they have to merge. So basically that's like is here. So a federation is basically it is the union of several smaller parts which is perform a common action like this. So in this diagram, these are the three end users, and that is one service provider, that is second, and that is three. So these three cloud service provider federation is working together for the end users. Like, so cloud federation is the concept of bringing different service offered by the various provider under a single platform. So what is the use of cloud federation? So basically the use of cloud federation is for the capacity utilization. We can utilize the capacity of every cloud service provider. Catalog of the services, there's a lot of services is available for the users. Interoperability, so we can easily exchange the data operation from one to another. And insight about provider and the SLA. So these are the some uses. So what is cloud federation? So different CSP joined together to form a federation like this. Provider 1, provider 2, provider 3 and provider 4 all are joined together to perform the task. So the benefit, lots of benefit are there. Maximize resources utilization. So if this user have a resources, then we can easily use these resources. Minimum power consumption. If the power consumption minimized due to the resources available for the main time. Load balancing. So one is provided this, one is provided this, one is provided this, so one is provided this. So we can easily balance the load. Cloud busting, global unity, or expand cloud providers geographic footprint. So bringing old concept into cutting edge technology. So first step towards the hybrid cloud. Okay. So federation allowed for splitting authentication and the authorization. Authentication means we can to authenticate the person, and authorization we have to authorize that particular person to perform that task. Security, easy of configuration or centralized identity management. So what is characterization and the definition? So characterization means the term cloud federation and the intercloud often used interchangeably. So cloud federation, intercloud, we have to share the information from different CSP to different CSP, same like as here. The different CSPs are working together and perform a task. Convey the general meaning of aggregation of cloud computing provider that have separate administrative domain. So it is important to clarify what these two terms mean and how they apply to the cloud computing. So the term federation implies the creation of an organization that supersedes the decisional and the administrative power of the single entities and that act as a whole. Within the cloud computing context, the word federation does not have such a strong connection, but implies that there are agreement between the various cloud provider allowing them to leverage each other services in the privileged manner. So basically a definition of the term cloud federation was given by the Reuven Cohen, founder and CTO of Anomaly. So cloud federation manage consistency and access control when two or more independent geographically distinct clouds share either authentication, file, computing resources, command and control, or access to the storage resources. So this definition is broad enough to include all the different expressions of cloud service aggregation that are governed by agreement between cloud provider rather than composed by the users. So what is the difference between intercloud and the cloud federation? So the primary difference between the intercloud and the cloud federation is that the intercloud is based on the future standards and open interface, while federation uses a vendor version of the control plane. Okay. So with the intercloud vision, all clouds will have a common understanding of how applications should be deployed. Eventually, workload submitted to a cloud will include enough to a definition, resources, security, service level, geolocation, that the cloud is able to process the request and deploy the application. So the term intercloud refers mostly on the global vision in which interoperability among different cloud providers is governed by the standards, thus creating an open platform where applications shift workload from one to another and freely compose services from the different sources. On the other hand, the concept of cloud federation is more general and include ad hoc aggregation. Ad hoc aggregation means there is a temporary basis of aggregation combined together between cloud service provider on the basis of private agreement and proprietary interface. So that is the main difference between both of them. So why cloud federation? So we already know that there are the characteristics. Capacity management, we can manage the capacity from different CSPs. Load balancing, there's the load is balanced from different CSPs. Efficient use the surplus resources. If I have a surplus resources, then I have shift to the another CSP, another users. Prevention from the power outage and failure. Prevention from the vendor lock-in or scaling data to the other CSP. So that's why these are the point here. So we are using the cloud federation. So what kind of driving factors for the cloud federation? So choice of the provider, mix and match of the services, going local, heterogeneity of the platform, ability to scale, and movement and migration of the workload. So these are the some driving factors of the cloud federation. Provider enterprises centric hybrid cloud. So here are the user, here is the self-service portal, and users use to any cloud 1, 2, 3 according to the user's need. So hybrid approach like public and the private help in scaling and migrating gradually to different cloud or the location, and is suitable for specific enterprises and cloud service provider. Okay. Next one is the marketplace based federation model. Here the user access to the cloud marketplace. After that cloud federation are there, that is working with the federation engine, and this cloud federation provided which kind of provider are access, cloud service provider A and cloud service provider B. So search, select and compare the offer services, create and provisioning workload across the provider, consolidate usage data and billing across the providers, platform agnostic model, flexible workload management and the migration across provider, choices of providers and offers, and create competitive environments that leads to the innovation. So basically, if we divided the federation, it is the 4 levels. Okay, involve research and development at the different levels. First one is the conceptual, second is the logical, third one is the operational, and the fourth one is the infrastructural level. So into the conceptual level, motivation, advantages, opportunities and the obligation. So that is basically working with the concept. What kind of concept using for that? So what are the advantages, what are the opportunities, what are the obligation, and what is the motivation? So that is the first level. Second one is the logical and the operations. So in this level, that federation model decided, cloud service provider decided, agreement decided, market and the price modeling decided, and the SLA decided. So this is basically, it is the logical, what kind of logic are there, what kind of model are there, what are the provider, what are the agreement, and how to implement it. Next one is the infrastructure level. So in this infrastructure, basically working on the infra part. So like what kind of protocols are there, what are the interface are, what are the standard follow, what is the programmatic interoperation, and what is the federation platform like reservoir or the inter cloud. So these are the some. So first is conceptual level. So we already discussed the conceptual level address the challenge in the presenting of the cloud federation as a favorable solution with respect to the use of service leased by a single provider. In this level, it is important to clearly identify the advantage of either service provider or the service consumer in joining a federation, and to delineate the new opportunities that the federation environment create with respect to the single provider solution. Some of the elements of concern at this level are motivation of the cloud provider to join a federation, motivation for the service consumer to leverage this federation, advantage for provider in leasing their service to other provider, obligation of provider once they have joined the federation, trust agreement between provider or transparency versus consumers. The next level is logical and operational level. So logical and operational level basically working on the how the working are there, how which type of working are there. So federated cloud identified and address the challenges in devising the framework that enable the aggregation of provider that belong to different administrative domain within the context of a single overlay infrastructure, which is the cloud federation. At this level, policies making are there, policies and rule of interoperation are defined. Moreover, this is the layer in which decisions are made as how and when to lease a service or to leverage a service from another. The logical component define a context in which agreement among providers are settled and services are negotiated, where the operational component characterize and shape our dynamic behavior of the federation as a result of the single provider choice. Infrastructure level is working on the infra part, like the what kind of protocols are there, what kind of infra are there. So infrastructure level address the technical challenge involved in enabling the heterogeneous cloud computing system to interoperate seamlessly. It deals with the technology varies that keep separate cloud community system belonging to a different administrative domain by having standardized protocol and interface. These varies can be overcome. This level, it is important to address the following issues. The first issue is what kind of standard should be used, how should design interface and protocol be designed for interoperation, which are the technologies for the user interface, which kind of protocols are there, which kind of lies the software system, design platform component and the service enabling interoperability. So like these cloud federation. So open stack enabling cloud federation is there. So use case one, like identity federation. So what is identity federation? So identity federation means enable distribute identification, authentication and authorization across organizational and the platform boundaries. Require a federated trust relationship between two organizations or the entities. Enable organization to retain control over who can access the resources, like the who can authorized. So enable organization to set curtain call of their user and group account. So that is it is responsibility of the users to identify the identity of the users or identity of the accounts. So identity provider, okay, that is provide to the each service provider to the identity. So mechanisms to establish trust between identity provider and the multiple OpenStack cloud enabling user to access resources across multiple cloud endpoint with a single credential without having to provisioning additional identity for the each provider. So just provide to the one identity and this identity is moved to the all the service provider. Claim based identity, so that is identity provider, that is security token services. Application provider, that is application. So this is the security token, so that is perform the outgoing claims like any password, like password. That is the incoming claims here to identify that the user is okay or account is okay or not. So claim provide information about user, who the identity provider authenticates and which are the application provide accept or not. Use case 2, federated orchestration. Like orchestration means users, virtual machine, queue, load balancer, monitoring management, backup, federated engine, and this is federated engine provided 1, 2 and 3 service provider. So in this orchestration, basically to provision and migrate workload across providers seamless to achieve portability and interoperability. So in this, basically the federation engine is identified or migrate the workload, okay, which is conformed with these provider. So this load balancer balance the load, this is monitoring, monitor the your application, that is the backup part. So this is called the marketplace shared service portal. Multi-cloud orchestration using Heat, so that is a marketplace service portal which already discussed in the previous slide. That is the workload templates which is performed with this Heat, and this Heat is OpenStack 1 and OpenStack 2, both are. So standalone Heat engine service as an orchestration layer in the federation engine. In the previous layer we are using the federation engine. Service catalog stored is the hot template or the service catalog included in the hot template. Portability can be achieved through the Tosca compliant template. So Tosca compliant template means topology and orchestration specification for the cloud application. This is basically for the specification how much applications are there. So that is using for the portability. So cloud federation are we there yet? The answer is almost. So we can share identities between the clouds. So here just like the intercloud management, the cloud federation, different cloud service provider identifying both of them. Second one is we need to build virtual intercloud network. So we can easily build the virtual intercloud network using the federation. We need to share images between cloud. Yes, we can we share the cloud images, and we need to intercloud metering for to identifying the how much meters are there, how much pricing are there. Okay, so the cloud federation, basically we have a different cloud service provider, they are working together and create a and solve a problem according to the user's need, yeah, or we can say that it is fulfilling the user's requirement. Okay, so that's all from my side, and we today's already discussed about the cloud federation. So if there are any query, just ask my mail id guptapradeep@akgc.ac.in. Thank you.